This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler and Agins, attorneys for Charlotte's startup community.
My sophomore year at the University of Maryland, I was left homeless for months because of one thing: my credit score. This is crippling, and I didn't know what to do. Millennials don't understand credit and don't know how to improve their credit scores, and this is something that I can't stand. This is the problem that Kuru is solving. Nearly 1 out of every 2 millennials has a poor credit score. This is 75 million of us that have a subprime credit score, below 625. This is the lowest out of any generation, and we have over $300 billion in credit card debt. If you look at where millennials are putting their money, it's going towards robo-advising. They have trust in an algorithm that allows us to improve our financial position, and this is how Kuru is solving the problem. Kuru is a robo-advisor for credit. It's an app that analyzes your finances, automating and gamifying credit improvement. For automation, Kuru considers your credit and debit balances when recommending the ideal amount to pay off. It rebalances your credit limits and automatically disputes credit report errors so you can be confident you're in the strongest financial health. For gamification, Kuru lets you know the consequences of your credit spending, whether it be an extra 4 points on your credit score or missing that payment's gonna cost you an extra $20 on interest and drop your credit score 20 points. Ultimately, this incentivizes good credit practices, ultimately rewarding you with that car you've been wanting or that apartment you've been trying to get. When you take a look at the market, you have companies such as Credit Karma that simply show you your credit score. It's like trying to lose weight and just standing on a scale. It's not that helpful, it's not that engaging. Other companies such as Mint or Albert automate your finances, helping you make better decisions, giving you more actionable advice. The way Kuru really focuses on this is not only focusing on purely improving your credit score, but making it as effortless as possible, because the struggle we're really facing is we don't understand credit, and it's a system hidden in shadows that you can try to understand it, but the learning curve on it is a little too steep, leaving you to pay sky-high interest rates or not get approved at all. As we improve our users' credit scores, we connect them to the financial products that are best for them, and that means lowest interest rate loans, as well as, based on their spending, credit cards that are a strong fit for them. We have an active partnership with LendingTree, allowing us to provide this, earning $70 per credit card referral, 1.5% for the total loan amount, and for users looking to get started on that credit building journey, $50 for a secured line of credit. We also leverage partnerships for our customer acquisition. We understand that going straight B2C is very costly, so we take a B2B to C approach, allowing us to partner with companies that have a focus on improving financial wellness for Americans. This includes a recently secured partnership with the US Department of Education, as well as the Rival Media, the nation's largest news chains for universities, gaining distribution through both of them. We also understand our demographic also has a psychographic. They're transitioning in their lives. This is a hotbed for opportunities like partnering with the military, when people are transitioning from that veteran life towards civilian life and need to now have a better financial security as they're less financially literate and need stable living. And we also focus on this with housing success partnerships, partnering with apartment complexes when people get rejected, so they're referred to Kuru, can be put on a path to getting secured housing, and then kind of adding value towards the housing complex, the car dealership, as well as Kuru. We're a team of millennials that have each faced this problem firsthand. We empathize with it. We understand our customers. I'm David Potter, the CEO of Kuru. I studied finance at the University of Maryland. Like I said, I was left homeless for the same problem. But at the same time, I was attending on a full-ride scholarship from Bill Gates. Less than 1% were accepted, and I was studying finance. My head was in this field, and for me to overlook something like this, I knew it was a problem that not only I faced, but I was asking my friends, I was asking my parents. No one understood credit, and I knew this was a problem that touched me dearly. Our team ranges from skill sets from finance all the way to technology, and we're backed by expert advisors. Rick Hansen, with over 30 years experience in cybersecurity, and Philip Elliott, who's a venture capitalist and was on the board of a company acquired by FICO. We started in October of 2016. We started an alpha test conducting payments in accordance with our algorithm on 25 users, and demand blew up. Over 100 users were demanding access to it, and we just didn't have the capacity to conduct those payments. So we decided to create a product to scale, where now we have over 6,000 users waiting for access, and our MVP is ready. We're just going through cybersecurity testing and debugging errors, so we can release it as a soft launch. We're then going to look towards expansion towards iOS and Android platforms for a public launch, and to fully deliver on all of our automation. We're raising a pre-seed round of $250,000 to go towards development and marketing. I'd love to speak with anyone interested, and I look forward to hearing your advice. Thank you.
All right. Good? Yes. Okay, good. Keep it over here. That's great. I mean, it's a good example. I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years. Probably one of the best examples of how your personal background and experience leads to this working. So for those who come to this each week, I think you're probably the most, you nailed that one. That's really cool.
Thank you.
I think, again, like I'll just do it inside the 5-minute pitch, right? Take it with the 5-minute pitch grain of salt. So
right.
I'll kind of throw some thoughts down. Get to automated credit improvement faster, that idea. It took about a minute for you to get there. And then the differentiator with your brand or your company, your product is engagement, right? So like that was clearly established by the time you got to the Magic Quadrant, but you're at like 3 minutes and 25, 30 seconds, right? So it's like nail automated credit improvement, explain to me the differentiator, which is you're going to engage people, even if you're going to call it like, you know, what's going to come. Like you don't have to prove to me you figured that out yet, because that's the purpose of a seed in an early round, is to get to that product market engagement fit, which allows you to bring the lending tree business model kind of thing further up front, which gives you a lot more credibility. And then I'd cut to like, yeah, we're B2B to C, get to that timeline slide, minimum viable product, $250,000 raise. Like it's just, you have it all there, you just need to kind of crunch it and just hit the 4 or 5 points in the 5 minutes, which, you know, seems obvious, but when you're building these 5-minute pitches, you're like, okay, I can't forget to get this in again. But all that stuff, the purpose of the 5-minute pitch in this format, as I understand it, and the founders like Vic have described to me, is like, this is about getting the 1 hour or 2 hour session with me at my office to ask for, you know, half of that 250, right? So just get to the 3 points and then get the meeting, right? That's the 5-minute pitch. But otherwise, great. I mean, just love how you tied in the story, the credibility you build with the, you know, I'm on a full ride at the University of Maryland with Bill Gates scholarship. I mean, I just think that's a great point. Never lose that, in my opinion.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll concur with a lot of what Mark said. I've actually got 4 millennial kids myself, right? And they've, you know, their understanding of what it takes to establish credit is definitely an issue. So I've seen that with them, and I've forced them to do some things that they didn't want to do, but they did anyway, and made it a little better. So I think your personal story, I think, is a great way to get everybody's attention. It lays out that there really is a problem. I liked all of the slides. I mean, I thought your slides were like dead on, right? Like Mark, I might have reordered it a little bit from a flow perspective, but I really did appreciate the effort that you put in the slides. Very succinct. The gamification piece was sort of interesting, and I know you didn't have time in a 5-minute presentation, but it did tweak my interest on how would that, you know, how do you actually engage? Because my biggest questions left from the presentation, again, you did the competition thing well, you did the you know, explaining your business model, your go-to-market. You listed the education thing, right? Some kind of partnership with the Department of Education, right? The military transition thing. I think those were all interesting. I would have figured out a way to tie that back into how are you going to acquire your customers, right? The partnership with Lending Tree is obviously a big deal because we understand how you're going to get paid, which I think is critical. But I was left with my biggest question being, how do you actually get to those millennials, get them to understand the problem that's there, and get them to be willing to actually sign up on your platform?
Exactly. Thank you so much. Again, I just echo, it's very good to start with a personal story. It gets me very interested from the very get-go, very beginning. And then I agree with everything that my partners have said. My biggest question is, you have 6,000 individuals signed up today.
Yes.
How do you get to the secret, whatever the secret might be, 200,000, 250,000. If you could answer that question a little bit in more detail, that would be very, very helpful.
Definitely. So we've gotten those 6,000 users. It's been organic signups through our website, people interested to download it. So we've gone through giving credit information through websites such as Curu, where people have kind of a specific question as related to credit because they don't really understand it. So we'll kind of provide value that way and give advice. We've also done a college roadshow where we partner with the university to provide financial literacy, where students can just openly ask whatever questions that they have, and this has also driven some traffic. The way that we're looking at driving traffic through our partnerships, and I mentioned the U.S. Department of Education, is we're actually piloting Kuru with 8 of their schools under their talent search program, which serves underprivileged communities, so people that are struggling financially, and along with educational success, financial success is a huge component of their program. So Kuru is actually going to be a sponsored product with them and part of that curriculum. With this partnership and partnering with 8 schools, they also have a national reach, a national arm. So upon success with this initial pilot, it's then going to look towards national expansion. So we are looking for systematic reach to our users. We think that's kind of the best approach because, you know, millennials are a largely underserved community. Banks don't have reach to millennials like they used to, which is a good thing for us, but also limits us on establishing credit history. So it gives us an opportunity to really create a connection to our users that way by creating this trusted way for them to establish a credit history. And then securing these partnerships, we integrate to have this systematic connection to our users. So any spots where we can catch someone transitioning, which then comes to look towards partnerships with the Navy Federal Credit Union as well.
How long is it, so if you were to raise 250K today, where is that going to get you, and how many individuals do you think you would be signing up by the end of this year, for example?
By the end of this year, we're looking towards 10,000 signups in total. So that's including the 6,000 that we have currently. There'll be some churn from the people that actually convert towards our app. And really what we're putting the money towards is to secure these value-added partnerships. So rather than going directly at B2C and converting 50,000 into the direct customers, we see the value being on that distribution. So we expect it to be, you know, an initial around 10,000, and we plan that to be very scalable.
Okay, thank you.
Just one comment on that, because I've been pressed on a similar question as a founder of an engagement financial literacy app. The point of the MVP, if you can point to, hey, we're looking to learn like this on engagement with this demographic, like I just feel like new apps, new companies, new platforms get so much credit when they can kind of show the investor, like, I'm trying to prove this point right here, right? I believe that my engagement approach, whether it's the gamification hook or whatever it is, and when we think, 10,000 signups is going to equal 2,500 active engaged users, right? Because you're not going to do smoke and mirrors on any good investor who wants to invest in this kind of stuff.
Right.
We're all going to say, yeah, 10K equals probably 1,000 using the thing, really, over the course of 3 months, 4 months, which is going to give you and your team data to action, like where that click is, like where that hook is for them.
Right.
Just getting to that, it just provides you so much credibility through this early fundraising process. So anyway, an obvious point, I think, but like if you can kind of hit that up front, man, that's just going to be very helpful. I think for everybody, anyone who's going B2C, it's like the MVP is going to kind of help us figure this out and hopefully open 2 or 3 other avenues to really hook and drive engagement.
Right.
And reduce that attrition that all these things fight every day. Anyway, that's great.
Yes. Hi. Good presentation. I'm also the parent of millennials, and I learned from my little sister to pick your fights. I never knew I could learn anything from her. And so I remember with my daughter, somehow she became involved with the rent-a-center places. And it disturbed me because I said, you can pay for it. You're paying for it 4 to 5 times. And so picking my fight, I have no idea what her credit score is. So I was wondering, is there a way that it's very interesting to me? And is there a way I can get involved, like gift cards or something to give her your information? How, when they say something about accessibility, how would I as a parent be able to tell her to contact your company? I think that would be beneficial. And this is the second time. Yesterday we were in a meeting, and this is the second time in 2 days, 3 days that I've heard about credit and millennials.
Great, thank you for sharing that. So one, after this, I'd be happy to meet with you and give you my business card. For connecting with millennials, we really focus ourselves on positioning ourselves mobile first for millennial, really selling, financial independence is kind of that dream, not really, improving your credit score. Because I think millennials are largely detached to caring about the difference between a 680 and a 700 credit score. What we want is financial independence, to get approved, to be able to get that car. So the way we're positioning our branding and all of that is on delivering that message that you'll be able to live on your own. You won't need mother's or dad's guidance. We're going to be able to give you that financial independence, and that's where that automation builds into it. So I'd love to talk to you after this.
All right, I think we're right to the end there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.